The Vikings secure their 500th win in franchise history, and how sweet it is against the Packers. It's the second largest crowd for a Vikings game in U.S. Bank history. And look at that, Greg Joseph with the game winner as time expired. Welcome into Vikings Postgame Live. I'm Tatum Everett. It's presented by Miller Lite today, and the Vikings now 5-5 after that Joseph kick we just saw. And obviously you can see Ron Johnson, the Gopher Great, alongside me right here. Coming up, we'll hear from Head Coach Mike Zimmer. We'll talk a little bit more about the game, go in depth, and then we'll also even have a player interview this week. So we're excited to add that to the show this time around. But look, this is the 500th win in Vikings franchise history. And what a way to do it against the Packers.
Yeah, and it's memorable. One is the Packers. Two, got them back into the playoffs now. They're the 7th seed, being 5-5, tied with the 49ers, which they get to play them next week, so can kind of set themselves. And it is the 500th win. That is huge for a franchise. It's just, you know, the way the NFL goes, winning isn't easy. Just ask the Detroit Lions. So I grew up not winning. So I know winning is hard to do. So it's a huge shout out to the organization and the way they've been able to build that.
And for almost the 10th straight week, not really. I think there was one in there where we felt comfortable that the Vikings were going to pull off the victory. But really, 9 out of 10 games now coming down to that final drive, coming down to the last possession. The Vikings on a good side of things this time around.
Yeah, I don't know about most Vikings fans, but for me, even working in this building, you know, working with the Vikings alongside them, my beard started off black during the year. It is now gray just from the nail biters and the way it comes down to the end. But it's always good to be on this side of it because we've seen the other side where there's a fumble, there's a missed field goal, there's something, or an interception. So to be on this side of it, it just feels a lot better.
That's why I dye my hair. You know, you can't ever see the grays that I'm getting from this season as well. But talking more about this win, you said it's now back in the playoff picture. How important was getting that W today?
Well, think about it. 2 weeks ago, everybody wanted to fire Mike Zimmer.
That's true.
You know, and you're still going to have the negative people that still want to do it. But now you're in the playoffs, so people can relax. You look at the next 7 games, and I just went through it. It might be preposterous. You thought it as well. But they can win the next 7.
You did say that.
They can win the next. They can end up 12-5 because they beat the Packers, so they probably can beat them again. We beat the Lions. You can beat the Bears for sure. And then you have to beat the Rams here, which the Rams don't look good anymore. Like, they're looking like something. I mean, OBJ might be the problem. So there's all the teams are beatable.
He just got there.
And as soon as he got there, and I get one of their receivers, Robert Woods, did get hurt. But OBJ gets there. Robert Woods gets hurt. Maybe he's the curse. I don't know. But they did not look good. You add Von Miller. Again, you add too many personalities. And you're trying to be like, you know, the Miami Heat and adding a bunch of guys to win the Super Bowl. It doesn't work.
Well, what worked today were the Vikings in all facets of the game. So let's get to those game-winning highlights. It was a big crowd out at U.S. Bank Stadium. The Vikings start things off big. Kirk Cousins going down the field for Justin Jefferson, just short of the touchdown.
Yeah, anytime you get man coverage with Justin, throw it to him.
And then you got Dalvin Cook walking on in to put the Vikings ahead. Back in business there, 7-0.
And that block sealed inside, that was a huge block right off the line.
Actually, I think it was, at that point, it was 9-3, and that's what was interesting. They missed that extra point, but then Adam Thielen comes in and makes a huge play himself.
And just a choice route. Kirk Cousins knew, I got a choice route. Adam picked the right one, made the throw on time.
He may not pick the right dance. We will hear from him, though, later on in the show. He's our interview today. And then here, Kirk Cousins back to pass. He'll find Justin Jefferson. This was to start the third quarter, Ron, to make it 23-10.
And I like the wrinkle. They put him at running back knowing you can't double team a running back, so he got man coverage.
But the Packers weren't going to be quiet here in the second half. Aaron Rodgers with all the time in the world. He finds Devontae Adams.
I feel like he always has all the time, regardless of the hold or not. There's never any flags.
And then Rodgers here scrambling. He again, though, this touchdown to Adams, the Packers would take the lead 31-24-23. My bad. But then this play.
Yeah, and again, man coverage, Justin Jefferson, a little bit of a push-off. But, hey, I'm always on the side of the receiver, and that boy's excited right there.
Yeah, Vikings with a few calls on their side today. That was a nice feeling. But you really can't count Aaron Rodgers out. You can't give him time.
You can't. And again, this is just he picked the right matchup. They went man coverage. They thought they were going to blitz. Xavier Woods thought he had no time to throw. He only needs a little bit of time.
That was a 75-yard touchdown to tie the game at 31. And here a hard run by Dalvin Cook to get the Vikings in field goal position. Kirk Cousins finds Adam Thielen again, and this was such a big play to set up that Greg Joseph
dangerous throw, too.
Yeah.
It could have been an interception, but he threw it on Adams' back shoulder, and the DB picked wrong.
It's just, Dalvin Cook said he stopped short here because he knew that he couldn't score to give Aaron Rodgers time.
Correct. And that's what Bill Belichick would do. We've seen the Patriots do that for years, where you do the right play, and Dalvin Cook made the right play there.
And then Coach Zimmer celebrating a Greg Joseph 29-yard game-winning field goal, his second game-winning field goal of the season.
Yeah, I wonder if Kirk Cousins went to him again and said, do you like that? I mean, I feel like every week he has a chance to make Mike Zimmer, him and Mike Zimmer have their little banter. So it's always fun when it comes on the win side of it. It's
great to see head coach Mike Zimmer smile. He always looks like he's really enjoying the moment after a win. So let's hear from the coach at the podium.
Okay, really good game. They played well. Offensively, we played outstanding today. I thought defensively we played really well in the first half, and then we really couldn't get them stopped in the second half. But offensively, we played really good in the second half. Seems like I guess every one of these games are going to come down to the last play of the game, like they have all year. So we're just very fortunate to get a win. They got a good football team, well coached, and we're fortunate to come out on top today.
A couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that you wanted the offense to be more explosive. That clearly happened in this game. Was there a concerted effort this week to try and make it more explosive? Or
no, not necessarily this week. They hadn't given up very many big plays, but we felt like we had a chance to get behind them some, and we did. I thought the offensive coaches did a really good job today. I thought Clint called a good game. The two receivers obviously were outstanding, and Conklin made a couple of really nice plays as well. Cook had some tough running at times, but he ran hard and gained some extra yards after contact. But basically, I talked to Kirk every week, and I told him, I said, look, you try to score touchdowns, you let me back the game down when it's time to do it. And, so that's kind of our approach.
What was your back to 500? Do you feel like this is now the best is yet to come for this team? You guys are getting where you want to be?
Say it one more time, Joe.
You're back to 500. Do you feel like the best is yet to come? You're getting to where you want to be?
Well, I think offensively we're starting to play like we did at the beginning of the season. Defensively, we've played well for the most part. The second half, we didn't cover very good today. Obviously he hit some big throws on us, but we have the ability, if we'll continue to put things together, continue to work. We just have to keep going. We can't be satisfied to be 5-5.
What was your vantage point on the interception that was overruled, and did you think right away you probably dropped it? Or?
Yeah, I was going to challenge it, but they told me it was a turnover, so I didn't have to.
Mike, defensively, you said the coverage in the second half was a little off. Is that the difference from the first half? Is that what you guys were doing?
Yeah, and we changed up some coverages in the second half. The long ball that the long one-play drive, we were doubling Adams, and we just got beat. And then the other touchdown, we were in the zero blitz, and the receiver kind of tricked him off the line. He kind of eased out and then took off again, and we got tricked. So we'll continue to try to figure out better ways to cover.
Mike, 2 of Rodgers' touchdowns came when he scrambled for more than 6 seconds. Is that just a byproduct of the type of guy you face, knowing what he does and getting out of the pocket, or was there something with the pass rush on those?
Yeah, well, we didn't rush the passer very good. As good in the second half, I didn't think, and that's why we were trying to hit some more pressures on him, because we didn't want him to hold the ball. The one he got out, we messed up a game. The one touchdown right before the half, I believe, we messed up a game. He got out, and then the guys uncovered. We had him covered initially, and then I don't remember the other one, but yeah, typically.
Mike, were you pretty adamant at the end when you got in the red zone that you didn't want to score necessarily? You just wanted to make sure Rodgers didn't get it back?
Well, we hadn't stopped him the whole second half, and I didn't want him to have the ball. So I figured the best place to win the game was him on the bench.
Hey, Mike, what have you learned about Jefferson's competitiveness really in these first 2 years that he's in here? I mean, rising up and playing the way he did against a rival and seemed to embrace that moment in battle.
I think Justin, I heard him say the other day that he lives for games like this, and that's kind of what he is. I saw him this week during the week and talked to him a little bit, and then after the game he told you, I told you I got you, coach. So that's the kind of guy you love to have. He's a great competitor, runs great routes. Adam's the same kind of guy, and I think those two kind of feed off each other.
Well, Mike, what is it about him specifically when everyone in the building knows that the ball's coming to him, it's a one-on-one matchup, and yet he still can make that big play? What have you seen improvement-wise, if there's even any room for him to improve that way?
Yeah, well, he catches the ball so well. He goes up, I think, was it last week, he went up and got the ball a couple times on 9 balls. He's got great hand coordination. He can jump. He's extremely fast, and he's extremely competitive, and he runs, when he runs these routes, most of the time he sets up the DBs pretty well.
Defensively having Patrick back, did that allow you to kind of mix things up a little bit more in the back end?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He got beat we were in a zone blitz one time, and Rodgers made a great throw on and out, and then one other time he's pressing Devontae, and he made a good catch and a great throw. So I think I have to look at the film because it's so hard for me to see everything out there, but I thought he did a good job.
Just in general, as a play caller and game designer and planner, does that allow you to kind of mix things up when you got a guy like him back?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you don't have to worry as much about him, but like today he was on Devontae a lot, and so you're still trying to take care of Devontae. So there's a mixture there.
Any word on KJ Osborne's?
Excuse me?
Any word on KJ Osborne's health? It looked like he.
I don't think anything's wrong with him. Yeah, no one said anything to me.
Why the decision to start Mason Cole at center, and is that a long-term thing?
I don't know. He's played well the last 2 weeks, so their nose tackle was a really good player, as you probably saw today a bunch of times. We'll see this week how it goes.
Mike, after the interception was overturned, how'd you like the way you guys just marched down the field?
Yeah, it was big. We had a really good run. We had a couple good throws in there. Adam made a couple nice catches. It just shows, I know we've lost some of these close games, but we got a lot of heart and we got a lot of fight. I don't know if hopefully we'll keep winning these types of games as opposed to when we were losing them earlier.
Well, losing these types of games kind of has given the guys the experience now to correct those mistakes. They said they didn't panic today, and those past losses have helped them. You see that?
Yeah, they're very experienced at the last play of the games.
Is there anything you think you want to emphasize, though, with them about protecting double-digit leads? Does it matter if you win?
It all matters. Everything matters, but wins matter too. They made some good plays. I mean, it's football. They got guys that are getting paid too, and that guy over there, number 12, is getting paid a bunch of money.
The 3 safety package, you feel like that worked out, or is there more to work out?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say without watching the tape, tonight or tomorrow. It's just, it's sometimes to have a bigger body down in there as opposed to a nickel when they're doing all these rockets and things like that, where the nickel gets into the run fits. We're trying to get Harrison Smith in, that's all.
Mike, one of Jefferson's touchdowns was he came out of the backfield. Is that just creativity, versatility that he provides to be able to do
that way? Everybody knows he's not in there for protection.
Mike, obviously a very entertaining game. What's it like on the sideline when you see this game go back and forth like that? Do you have to kind of keep your emotions in check yourself?
Sundays are not fun. Sunday, they say Sunday's fun day. It's not at all. It's like I said the other day, every play with this guy is a fight. You trying to, and then. You just hope, when they go down and score in one play that the offense can come back and do what they did. And so, I was proud of them for that.
Last one. Do you know what happened on the play on the touchdown where he was calling a touchdown, but he
Yeah, he called it, but the ball was he called timeout, but the ball was already snapped, so he wasn't granted. And we zero blitzed him, and like I said, the receiver faked like he was going to stop and took off again, and he made a great throw.
What do you mean, Coach? This was Sunday Fun Day. 34-31, a Vikings victory. You can kind of see a lot of similarity in this, obviously in the score, but also in the final stats.
I think the one key stat, though, they beat them in all the Packers won in everything except for time of possession, which is key, and first downs. That's the other key. And then turnovers. Both teams, the Vikings almost had one with the Kirk Cousins interception to almost lose the game, but it went their way.
It went their way. A lot of things going the Vikings' way. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and that's okay. Penalties also a big thing. They were really able to clean up what has kind of been a little bit of a sore spot for this team.
Yeah, and yards off penalties. You look at the Packers, 92 yards given up off penalties. The Vikings only 25 yards given up. So the pass interference on Justin Jefferson, that was huge. And then the Kirk Cousins, again, another bad play, but roughing the passer, got him the ball back. So it was his luck today. I don't know what he did last night. I don't know what's in his pockets, but
he should probably go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get to all of these talking points throughout the show and talk about the tale of two halves. You heard Mike Zimmer talk about how in the first half of the offense, outstanding, everyone's playing outstanding, and then, the second half happened, which at least it ended up the right way for us this time around. Cousins outdueled Rodgers. I think we were surprised to see it, but happy to see it. And then finally, how could you not talk about Justin Jefferson, his 11th career 100-plus yard game? We're going to save the best for last because he was such a highlight in this one. But, Ron, let's talk a little bit more about... Excuse me? Sorry. At first, I thought you said something. Let's first talk a little bit about the tale of two halves. Yeah. Mike Zimmer saying the offense outstanding. They were able to hold on in this one. What kind of happened at halftime that really changed things up?
Well, the deep ball. I think, and again, he threw the one interception, but for fans, when you see the interceptions, understand that's just Kirk Cousins being aggressive. That's what we want. Because if he's so worried about interceptions, he can't make some of those throws. The throw to Justin Jefferson covered. The throw to Adam Thielen covered. The throw that did get picked off, but was not, hit the ground. So that's what it was. It was Kubiak. I don't know if it was him calling the plays or him just dialing up saying we need to go deep because the Packers are going to come, but the minute we see something we like, we have to attack. And I think Zimmer said it. Just go score. Let me worry about dialing it back. Let me worry about taking our foot off the pedal. And I think that's the key for this team now. They realize they can be a pass-first team with the run worked in there.
Well, when you think about this and you looked at the stats, over 300 passing yards for both teams. The run game not as established in this contest. Neither team reached 100 yards rushing. So here, take a look at what Kirk Cousins was able to do today. Seemed like he was just able to spread the ball out to several different targets. And as you said, it avoided that interception in the second half.
Yeah, when you look at the scatter chart here, again, that's just Kirk Cousins spreading the ball around. Again, what you don't see is a whole bunch of dumps and dinks, and everybody always tries to bring that up. Kirk Cousins never throws the ball deep. Well, today he did. He took chances. He threw the ball to Justin Jefferson. He threw a really nice ball to K.J. Osborne. And so that's the key for him, reading the guys. But I said this in a pregame show on Fox. If Justin Jefferson has man-to-man coverage, I don't care what the play is called. You throw the ball to Justin Jefferson because he is one of the best, if not right now, in my opinion, the best receiver in the NFL, and they have to take advantage of that.
Take a look at this Adam Thielen touchdown, though. Talk about effort at the end.
Yeah, and it's just a choice route. This route right here, he has the option to hook it up, to run a slant or run an out, depending on the coverage. Well, the DB's leverage is inside, so he runs an out route, and then there puts his foot in the ground, realizing this guy is going to overplay the out, and he gets in the end zone. And then I don't know what that is, like the drunken sailor or something. Yeah,
we're going to have him on the show in a second, and so we'll have to ask him about that. But Kirk Cousins with a huge day, as we mentioned. You saw a scatter chart, but 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And as we're really used to seeing, a 100-plus passer rating.
Yeah, the 128 passer rating, 0.4 is good. But the thing I think I liked about Kirk today was in the first 7 minutes of every game, he is the best quarterback in the NFL. 144.8 passer rating. And his 80% completion, 80% completions in the first 7 minutes. He is the best. He's better than Tom Brady. He's better than, Aaron Rodgers. Everybody. He is the best. And then when you look at touchdowns and interceptions, no interceptions in the first 7 minutes. And then normally it slows down, and then it's like the stagnant second half Kirk. Well, today he didn't let it happen. He kept attacking. And I think that's going to be the answer going forward. The next 7 games, he's going to have to be aggressive. He's going to have to play loose and not worry about making mistakes.
Yeah, Cousins really keeping up with Aaron Rodgers in this one, his stats were not great in that first half, but really finding his rhythm in the second.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he started taking shots down the field. He started getting coverages. He realized what Mike Zimmer was going to do, which is blitz, and so he had to stand in there a couple times, take some hits. And then with his legs, that's the key about Aaron Rodgers. We know if he rolls out, he can roll left or right. He can throw a dime rolling either way, and he made the Vikings pay for it. And Mike Zimmer said it, too. The guy did a weird stutter go off the line of scrimmage during a blitz, and it was just the right play for the right defense call.
Is that have anything to do with adjustments that they talk about at halftime? Is there a lot to do with his success there in the second half?
Oh, 100%.
Just being tired?
Yeah. Matt LaFleur, that's what he's looking at. You know, during the game, coaches are in the headsets, and they're trying to get things going. And again, I was a sideline reporter for the Gophers this weekend, and so seeing them, they did the same thing. Their quarterback, first drive, 8 rushes. Second half, nothing. And so Mike Zimmer, that's what the Packers did. Mike Zimmer's defense was kind of owing him, keeping him in the pocket. And then eventually he said, hey, we got to give some fake goals, which we saw Everett Griffin jump off sides. We saw him line up a little aggressively. We saw Harrison Smith kind of show the blitz. We saw Eric Kendricks and Barr show the blitz in the A-gap. And so that's what he started doing. He started, kind of giving the fake goal, kind of getting the guys ready, sitting in there, realizing what it is, and then going with the play. And, yeah, they figured it out.
Here's Adam Thielen's stats for the game. 8 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And really, I tweeted this out. I find him to be Mr. Reliable. When you need a third down conversion through the air, when you need someone to fight for a first down, this is your guy.
Yeah, well, between the 20s, I think it's Justin Jefferson's team now. Like, he's going to get a lot of these balls to get them down into there. And KJ Osborne, I think, needs to be worked in there a little bit more. But then Adam Thielen, just like last year, he is the best red zone wide receiver. Why? Because he understands concept. He understands space. He's really good in space. He doesn't panic. And, he knows exactly what he's supposed to run, when he's supposed to run. And him and Kirk Cousins have a great rapport. And it just shows. So when it's in the red zone, 9 times out of 10, watch for Adam Thielen because the kid knows how to get open.
Also, if you look at the stats, Thielen and Justin Jefferson were targeted 10 times apiece, which I think it's nice to see. Like, you can shut one down, but the other one is always going to be there. So it's really pick your poison.
Yeah, they're 1A and 1B. I think at one point Thielen was 1A, Jefferson was 1B. Now I think Jefferson has now become 1A, Thielen's 1B, but they're both number 1 receivers. And so that's the unique thing that Kirk Cousins has. If you double Jefferson, I'm going to Thielen. You double Thielen, I'm going to go to Jefferson. And if I get them on the same side and you make a mistake, it's lights out. And that's what we saw in that deep ball to Jefferson. Thielen ran the shorter route. Both DBs kind of panicked and ran to Thielen because he ran to the sticks where Kirk Cousins normally goes. And then today he went deep to Jefferson. So he's getting out of his tendencies. And I think that's the key. When you look at the stat sheet, defenses do the same thing. What does Kirk Cousins do on third down? Oh, he's going to throw to the sticks. They both panicked and ran to Thielen. Jefferson was wide open behind him.
A kid from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, who has battled to get on this roster from the very beginning. To see him do these kinds of things, watch this 500th win, that's something I'm really interested in talking to him. He is on his way to speak to us now in this post-game hit. But talking about this offense as a whole in general, was this one of the more complete performances you've seen so far this season?
Yeah, I think defensively early on, yes. Offensively, they went stride for stride with the Packers, and that's what you need. You need a team to win the game in the end.
All right, well, I got the green light. Adam Thielen ready. He's joining us from U.S. Bank Stadium. Adam, thank you so much for being here on Vikings Postgame Live after yet another late-in-the-game thrilling win. I don't know how you players handle all of these late-game heroics and all of your nerves and stuff.
This is kind of cool. I've never done an interview like this. This is a nice setup you got here.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. You had a big day today, a touchdown, 82 yards, and 8 receptions. What was working so well for the offense, really from beginning to end of this game?
I think it's what we talked about, this last week, the week before, what our key to success is, right? It's being aggressive, letting our playmakers make plays. Does that mean that we're going to throw it every down? No. It means that we're going to give Delvin the ball. We're going to spread the ball around in the pass game. We're going to throw it on first down. I think those things are what helped us have success, move the ball, create not easy first downs, but shorter third downs, which, when you're able to convert third downs in this league, it leads to success. It leads to points and taking care of the football. So I think that's the formula moving forward. Does it mean that you're going to win just because you're aggressive? No, you got to go make the plays, and your players got to step up.
Yeah, Adam, when you look at you and Justin Jefferson and coverage is going to roll to one of you either time, how do you guys kind of talk that through when you're on the field together, knowing when you recognize coverage right away, kind of giving them a little inkling like, hey, it's coming to your side?
I'm not even worried about it. I'm just trying to beat the guy over the top of me. You know how it is. You're not really thinking about much other than, hey, the route's called. I got to go win. And then when you come to the sideline, you're able to tell them, hey, they're sitting on me or they're playing me like this, and gives the offense coordinator a chance to be able to call the appropriate plays. And I think that communication is huge. And with the quarterback, him understanding how they're playing us because he can't see it. He's got a lot going on. So just that communication is so important.
Adam, you're a veteran on this team, and the franchise with this victory now has 500 wins, which is so big, and especially coming against the Packers. What does hearing that 500 wins in Vikings history mean to you?
Well, it means a little bit more to me because I grew up here and I've seen a lot of those wins and cheered on a lot of those wins. So very special, obviously, for our owners. I was able to talk to them about that. That's who told me about it, seeing them in the locker room, and that's what they said. So happy for them. What a great accomplishment. But it's kind of like this win. It's great. We're going to enjoy it here for a couple hours, but we got to go on to the next one because we have 500 more to win for them.
Yeah, Adam, and I've been doing this for 7 years now, and I want to say I'm proud of you, man. Like, I've watched you grow, like your Instagram. You've upped your Instagram game. Your tweets. You've just come a whole new level. But let's talk about the end zone dance. Last year was the dead arms dance. What is this? The zombie or is this the reverse dead arms? What is that touchdown after you kind of ran that out route?
Well, it's the swag dance.
The swag dance.
But we always joke around. The music's playing to start practice, and I love to dance. I love to play around. I love to have fun, and that's kind of been my dance. And the guys always laugh and joke around with me, so I try to get them in on it. And it looks pretty sick when we're all doing it together.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a moment. We are showing it in slow motion. I don't know if you can see that on your screen or not, but yes, and deservedly so. What a great game today, Adam. Thank you so much for joining us here on Vikings Postgame Live. Celebrate this one, and we can't wait to see you guys out there again next week against the 49ers. And I think something, Ron, that we're taking home from this is that they're just, as Mike Zimmer said, not satisfied with being 5-5 right now.
Yeah, they're not. And that's why I think, you look at it, and again, people are always going to say, well, if this happened, this could have happened. Yeah. They easily could be 8-2 right now. Yeah. Honestly, they could. You look at those 3 games, the one loss game and the 2 3-point games they lost. Take the Browns out, take the Cowboys out, they could easily be 8-3 or 8-2 right now. And so that's why I think they're not satisfied, because they know how close they were to being the number 1 team in the NFC.
When Justin Jefferson has a 100-yard performance, we win every time.
Okay.
Didn't know if you knew that or not. So, again, here it is, 169 yards, 8 receptions, 2 touchdowns. This was his game. He shined. And 2 weeks ago, we heard Kubiak, we need to get the ball to Justin Moore. 2 weeks now, it's worked.
Yeah, and it's going to keep working if they do it this way. You have to pass first to then run. That's the secret for success. I hope Kubiak can get Zimmer to get on board with that versus we have to establish the run in order to pass. And that's the reverse thinking. And when you look at the play breakdowns, this is the one I was talking about. This is just an over route. Kirk, right on target, 5 steps up in the pocket. That's the key. He takes a hit, but he throws the ball. And look at the separation Justin Jefferson creates just with speed across the field. He doesn't have to break stride. You got his teammate down the field blocking for him and Adam Thielen. And that's what Justin Jefferson brings to you. And then here again, you're just going to have Justin Jefferson running the deep route. Adam's going to run the short route. You can't see it, but Kirk hitches and then goes deep. You see the 2 DBs in front of him. They both thought Thielen was getting the ball. The safety played it wrong, and they lost. They lost that battle in that situation thinking it's going to Thielen. And this is what I love. You put him in the backfield. You treat him like a running back knowing he's going to get man coverage on a slot or safety. And now that's just, you have no chance of beating him there.
Yeah, that was...
And again, this is Kirk, guy in his face.
Yes.
Recognizes right away, I got man coverage. Let me get rid of this thing now. He throws a back shoulder throw. He doesn't throw it to the end zone. And Jefferson is one of the best back shoulder throw catchers on this team, but also him and Kirk now have that kind of cerebral ability to know, okay, it's going to be back shoulder. Justin, I'm going to trust you to make this catch. And he's making Kirk Cousins confident. A quarterback that knows a receiver can do that for him is extremely confident in that receiver. He can close his eyes. It's like when you have kids. You know, one kid I can leave at home, and one kid, you're coming with me because I don't trust you. And that's where Kirk Cousins.
Justin.
That's not Justin. He's the kid you can trust when you close your eyes and go to sleep. I know he's going to be in the bed when I wake up because he's going to stay in his room. He's one of those kids that Kirk Cousins can trust right now, and that's where they're at. They're getting that trust. Yeah. Jerry Rice said it, him and Joe Montana. Joe Montana said, I can close my eyes, take 3 steps, and throw the ball to an out route, and I know Jerry Rice is going to be where he's supposed to be. That's where Justin Jefferson's getting right now with Kirk Cousins.
Well, you'll love to see it, that's for sure. And we love having you on the show. Thank you so much to Go for Great Ron Johnson for being on Vikings Postgame Live.
Appreciate
You've
it.
got other postgame duties to do now.
Fan line, and hopefully now they're happy.
KFAN fan line. I mean, look, it's a border battle. It was my first. I thought it was so electric and fun. And honestly, great to walk away with a win. Yeah. And I'm sure there's got to be some happy Vikings fans out there. So hopefully you'll get some good calls.
Yeah. Well, some Vikings fans aren't always happy, though. They like to lose just to be angry. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. You know, just enjoy this one. Thank you so much to Ron Johnson for being here today. We have Between the Lines. We have Between the Lines coming up. Yep, we do. We got it in the can. Sorry, they sent it from US Bank Stadium, so we'll hear from Gabe Henderson and Ben Lieber.
Well, the Vikings get win number 500 in franchise history today, and 427 yards between Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and Adam Thielen. Just a day for those guys today, Ben.
Yeah, man, it was a fun game. I mean, I hated the fact that our defense gave up so many yards and had to make it way more interesting because, really, you look at the first half, like, we controlled the whole game. You know, they did a good job against our rushing attack, but it felt like, to me, we were in control. And then at the end of the first half, again, we give up points, and then we give up some long drives defensively, and then they make a game out of it. Yeah. Look, it was exciting. Again, it wasn't perfect, but my goodness, I think this offense is starting to click.
This offense is starting to click, and it started with Justin Jefferson, 3 receptions, 104 yards in the first quarter. And then Adam Thielen just finishes a day today with the touchdown at the end of the game. But this guy, Eric Stokes, all week, PA, they were talking about how Eric Stokes was going to guard JJ, guard Adam Thielen. We didn't see that today.
Yeah, you're baiting me right now because you saw what happened right before this. And you know what? I'm going to take the high road on this Green Bay Packers coach looking at me saying, you better not talk into that microphone and give your team any credit. I'm going to take the high road on it and say I'm very impressed with the Green Bay Packers finding a way to win 8 games despite all those injuries, A-Rod's toe, COVID, line, and everything. So I'm not, going to say to that coach what I wanted to say, like, you can go ahead and put Eric Stokes and Justin Jefferson the rest of his career. And like he did in 2019 when he was with LSU and Stokes was with Georgia, he killed him. And he killed him again today, and he will kill him every single time they meet. So I'm going to end it right like that. I got to say, in my 20 years of calling Vikings games, that's about the first time I've ever had a coach say something like that to me. So best of luck to you guys the rest of the way, and quite honestly, I hope you lose every single freaking game the rest of the year.
Well, speaking of coaches, Mike Zimmer's in a good mood, Lieber. His guys are 9 of 13 on third down today, and just speaking of just keeping drives going, they sustained those drives, which ultimately led to a 29-yard field goal by Greg Joseph, which was a walk-off.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, again, you got to find ways to get the ball down the field. And I thought Clint had an awesome game plan. You know, we see a lot more throwing on first down that we saw last week. We saw that this week in this game. And I think that's helping open up this offense. You can no longer just think, hey, they're going to hand the ball off to Dalvin in some sort of capacity on first down, and it's going to be this sort of conservative offense. No, this is very much a high-powered, explosive offense, and they're going to test your safeties to get down the field. And I think that was the big difference, creativity and the aggression on offense.
You know what really impressed me today is the fans here at US Bank Stadium. They got a good show. I mean, that Cooper Rush game, the game against Stefanski, where we score first drive, then don't score the final 3.5 quarters. Seattle game we win, got sleepy in the second half, and we almost lost to the Lions. So the fans who paid their money and came here to US Bank Stadium today, you finally got one of those games that we see on the road all the time. I mean, just fun, explosive games. Fortunately, you saw a Vikings victory, man. Fortunately for those fans.
For sure, and it was my first ever border battle victory with fans. So it was yours, Tatum, and I'm happy for you, too. Back to you in the studio.
Tates.
All right, thanks, guys. Take a look at this division roundup. The Lions still winless after barely losing to the Cleveland Browns 13-10 in Cleveland. And also the Bears in action earlier today against a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Raven team, but the Ravens still with the 16-13 victory. And so let's take a look at those NFC North standings. The Packers dropped down to 8-3. The Vikings still holding securely to that number 2 spot at 5-5. Still 4 games out of that. But you know what? There is a lot of football left to go. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vikings Postgame Live. A big thank you to Adam Thielen for joining the show. For Ron Johnson, I'm Tatum Everett, and we'll see you guys next week when the Vikings travel to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Skol Vikings.